Number 3.
In fact, many of these fossilized creatures, even at the lowest levels, are identical to creatures we still find alive in the same form today.
No, we find similar creatures. Probably descendants of those original creatures. Not the same creatures. Like, we know that there are ancient bats. Are they the same bats that are around today? No, but they're extremely similar. It's because in that environment, there was no need for them to evolve. So they stayed pretty much the same way. Okay? There are fish down there that we don't even know exist yet. But I guarantee their ancient ancestors were there millions of years ago. But that doesn't disprove evolution, does it? The fact that those creatures are still around does not disprove evolution, does it?
This is hardly a confirmation of Darwinian theory.
Because there's one or two, because there's a couple creatures that happen to still be alive for millions of years. That disproves Darwin.
Explanations can equally plausibly explain why mammals are found in the higher levels only. But here's where Darwinist...
Then what? What is it? Give me the explanation. You say, oh, there's explanations, and then you just go on.
Fallacies have again become abundant. They frequently confuse speculation that seems plausible from a Darwinian outlook as a disproof of competing theories.
There is no competing theories. There is no competing theories. I guarantee that you're using the theory as it means hypothesis. You have a concept, but you have no workable theory as of what these other theories are. None of them are workable theories. But you don't know that, do you?
An alternate explanation is not a disproof of anything.
There is no alternate explanation. Okay? Every other version has been debunked.
You still have to show evidence that your explanation is the right one.
And Darwinian evolution was accepted 200 years ago, and it's accepted today by people who actually know what they're talking about, unlike you.
Darwinists fail to do this.
Darwinists, do you not understand that you could take the entire the entire book that Darwin wrote, and take it to the nearest trash can and throw it in there and have no one ever even know it exists, and evolution would still be going? There's still more than enough to deal without dealing with Darwin and still be able to prove evolution. Yeah.
Fossils appear suddenly, fully formed, and without simpler, more primitive forms underneath them.
No, what it is that there are simpler, more primitive forms. You and the people like you want to say, oh no, those aren't simpler forms, those are fully functions. It's already a fish, even though it's already a bird, even though... Have you ever heard of mosaic types? Yeah, this was the cute little euphemism to explain away these simpler forms.
Plain and simple, there's no evidence for Darwin's great claim that all life has a common ancestor to be found in the fossil record.
Bullshit.
Here are the statistics on what is contained in the fossil record, according to Dr. Kurt Wise, whose PhD is in invertebrate paleontology from Harvard University. He also happens to be a young Earth creationist.
So yeah, of course, his info's not biased, is it?
Although I know I'm not supposed to say that, because the prevailing view seems to be that only Darwinists are real scientists.
No, no. There are tons of scientists who are Christian, who also believe in evolution. Young Earth creationists automatically say evolution didn't happen. Or if it did happen, it happened in this very narrow window, about 6,000 years, give or take a couple thousand years because of the Great Flood. Or, does that not make any sense to you? That's why we discount people who are young Earth creationists, because they don't even take the facts as they are. They want to make up the facts to fit their own hypothesis, which is completely debunked anyways.
95% of the fossils, by number, consist of shallow marine organisms. For example, corals, shellfish. Of the remaining 5%, 95% are all the algae and plant tree fossils, including the coal, and all the other invertebrate fossils, for example, insects. 5% of the 5%, or 0.25% of the entire fossil record, are the vertebrate fossils, fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals.
Okay, let's say even hypothetically these numbers are anywhere close to right. So, what does that mean? What that means is that even if we've only found 2,100 dinosaur skeletons in all the world, there's only about 2,100 dinosaur skeletons in all the world's museums. Yeah, that doesn't mean shit, because there are massive vaults of bones. Okay, not counting the private collectors that sit there on these things and study them and never display them. Wow.
Only 1% of this 0.25%, or 0.0025% of the entire fossil record, are vertebrate fossils that consist of more than a single bone. There are only about 2,100 dinosaur skeletons in all the world's museums.
So?
Of course, you can't mention the fossil record in this way without also mentioning living fossils. I love living fossils because they're impossible for Darwinists to account for. According to the neo-Darwinian theory, mutations are occurring all the time. They have to be in order for there to be enough of them in history to even approach creating enough new information to account for today's life.
Okay, I'm going to stop this right here before it gets too far, because he's going to go into the living fossils, which are a whole fun part of this. So let's have some fun with this.